This is Forge Daily with Mackenzie Barwell on the Forge Audio Network.
Welcome to this episode of Forge Daily. I'm your host, Mackenzie Barwell, checking in September 30th, 2024. Forge FC have extended their lead in the standings to 7 points now, following their 2-0 victory to York United. In today's episode, I'll dive into the 905 Darby, some implications to the standings following Matchweek number 24, and where Valour FC are currently at ahead of their matchup with Forge FC this coming weekend. Kicking things off with York and Forge, with their 2-0 victory, Forge were able to close out what has been an undefeated 905 Darby in the 2024 regular season, thanks to goals from Noah Jensen and Nana Ampomah. Looking at the starting 11, Tristan Borges and Amadou Kone were out of the lineup after starting in the past game. Leading the attack was Jordan Hamilton, alongside him to his right, Dav Choinière, and to his left, Benni Badibanga. The first half was highly contested, either side just trying to figure each other out. York United dealing with a heavily rotated lineup with various injuries and suspensions, and Forge also undergoing a setback quite early in the game when Elimane Cissé was forced to exit with injury. After a scoreless first half, here's what Coach Bobby and Noah Jensen were thinking.
Yeah, in the first half, to be honest, we're uncharacteristic. When we had the ball in the progression phase, just past the build-up, we're in a line of four with our defenders. When I looked across the back, I saw Para, Methuselah, Jensen, and Cissé first, then Duncan, and that never happens for us. We never do that, and that was a problem because the way they were sitting, we had four guys behind that they didn't have to deal with. They were facing those players. The idea is either to be with two or with three. So something we reiterated at halftime. We went away from that and made it clear that if we stay like that, we'll make it easier for their wide players to just jump out and defend. You need to create the overloads in certain areas, which then put the opponent in bigger problems. So I think Para and Duncan in the second half did a better job of alternating on who was moving higher to create an extra player in the wide zone, which ultimately creates an extra player in the half space. And once you do that, you create good situations for your team. So I think that was a small little adjustment that we saw that, for some reason in the first half, we're never in that shape, but the guys caught themselves in that shape, and maybe it was that a little bit higher line from the opponent.
Yeah, in the first half, we were finding it difficult to create chances because there was a lot of space to play in behind, but the field was so slick that anytime we were playing the ball over the top, it would just fly out of bounds. And so, we have guys like Dav and Benny and even Jordan who, are strong at running in behind, but they couldn't get on the end of any of those balls. So we knew that maybe more of our link-up play was going to be, to people's feet. Kind of helped us a little bit second half going into the wind. The ball started to hold up a little bit more, but, like I said before, York was kind of playing a mid-block. They had a line that was willing to drop whenever we had runs in behind, but we were always going to find a solution. We were definitely frustrated because I don't think in the first half, apart from Kyle towards the end, we didn't create really any chances. But at the same time, coming into the locker room, we could be mad at not having done that much that half, but it's 0-0, and we can go out in the second half and start the game from scratch. And I think that's something we had in our minds. We talked a lot about halftime, about how we were going to take advantage of some of the spaces that the coaches were seeing on the field. And like I said, we have plenty of players in the team who are good at solving these problems on the fly. And I think it was a big confidence boost for us to perhaps have a first half like we did, a little bit slower, and then to go out and score in the first 10 minutes. That was huge for us and just helped kind of put the game away a bit.
Now, I actually had a chance to chat with Noah Jensen at halftime on the field, and he mentioned similar themes, knowing that the team needed to create way more consistent opportunities and then capitalize on them when they came. And lo and behold, he would be the one to do so not long into the second half. Kyle Becker with an impressive assist across the box to find Noah just for an easy tap and then put Forge FC on the scoreboard. 86th minute rolls around and Forge not done yet. It would be two of the squad's newest additions to seal the victory. Victor Klonaridis making a great effort to get in behind and receive a through ball from Alex Jensen, finding Nana Ampomah right in front of goal. Here's more from Coach Bobby and Noah Jensen on their overall thoughts from Saturday's match.
I think it's a little bit of everything. Traditionally we've been excellent at home. Last year was a little bit of an anomaly. That's something we talked about in the off-season, talked about at the beginning of the year. And, this field allows us to play good football in itself. then you look at the electricity the crowd gives us. For a venue that's 25,000 when it's full, when you put 5,000 to 6,000 in here, it's absolutely brilliant. And the fans make it exciting for our players, and they want to make sure that they're giving everything for them, and that's something we've talked about. And I think that's the commitment the guys have made this year, and it's shown. And today we needed to work for it. York came out and they were missing guys, and one of the messages to the players in the week, because we knew they were missing players, is you're probably going to face a team that's going to be more concentrated than usual. Yeah. Like those situations where you play against somebody who's down a man, because you see that there was players out of position, but they came up with a plan, played a little bit of a higher line, and sometimes that higher line, it's something easy to beat at U10, and I'm being honest with that. The problem is we're not 10 years old, and we sometimes try and play too much football to get around it when there was an easier route to get there. That's how we've scored our goals. That's how we've created our very good situations to score, but we needed to do a little bit more. They came out with a plan that we were prepared for, but sometimes it's difficult for a team to execute when you don't see that much. Usually we see a lower block, a lower line. Credit to York, they changed that up, but we had to work hard for it.
Especially in these matches against teams that are at the top of the table playing at home. Obviously, you want to be the team that scores first. It sets you up in the best way to succeed. So that was big for us. I know that Malcolm coming into the game provided us with a little bit more energy. Cissé is one of those guys who's really good in possession. Malcolm's a little bit more dynamic in the way he moves up and down the field. So he helped us out a lot coming in on the right side and kind of opened the game up a bit more for us. And yeah, it was just overall, I would say it was a strong performance. Maybe not our best technically, but we got 3 points at home. I think that's all you can ask for.
So Noah Jensen has collected 5 goals on the season. He trails team leader Tristan Borges by 3, and another clean sheet, making it 6 for Jassim Khalilat. So let's have a look at some other results around the league in match week 25. Beginning with Cavalry versus Vancouver FC. That ended in a 0-0 draw, and it will mark Vancouver's first clean sheet in 6 games. Cavalry likely seeing this as a missed opportunity despite that point, clinching their spot in the 2024 playoffs. On Sunday, Ottawa versus the Halifax Wanderers, both unbeaten in the last 3 weeks, and they would extend that streak with a 1-1 draw. Atletico looking strong after scoring in the first half, but with just 12 minutes remaining, Halifax pressure paid off, resulting in a header from a corner to level the score. And then in an unusual Monday night fixture tonight, Valour FC will face off against Pacific, both teams battling for that 5th and final playoff spot. This result will be crucial and could significantly impact how Valour will come out to play Forge this weekend. So maybe keep an eye out for the score or catch the highlights afterwards. Here's Noah Jensen on Forge's current confidence approaching playoffs following not only their win against York, but a record-breaking amount of points collected at home this season.
Yeah, I will say I definitely think our strong start to the season kind of emphasized that, this is going to be our fortress. This is going to be where we take maximum points. And once you start winning a few of them, teams are scared to come here. Teams know that they're going to get our best football when we play here. And so we have that intimidation that we mentally have a one-up over the opponent before even stepping on the field. We all know that. And it just gives us confidence overall. Any game we play at home, especially this time of the season when they all matter a little bit more, we're all very confident in our ability. And I think it showed today. It's going to show when we play Ottawa. And yeah, I think we're really happy this year that we're giving our fans more of a product at home compared to what we were doing last year.
As I mentioned, Forge FC will travel to Winnipeg this weekend to face Valour FC on Sunday. Valour currently sit in 8th place. After 24 games played, they have 24 points. In their last 5 games, they've managed 4 draws and 1 loss. However, despite being at the bottom of the table, they are still in contention for that 5th and final playoff spot. They sit just 3 points back from Pacific FC, who are currently in 5th. On the flip side, Forge FC with a real opportunity to clinch the regular season title. Neither side will back down without a fight this weekend. With Forge's lineup constantly evolving, especially in the attack and the midfield, it's tough to predict who we might see start. But Coach Bobby did speak on the subject in the press conference, talking about the team's adaptability from week to week and how he expects new signing Victor Klonaridis to continue making an impact.
any of our combinations in the midfield do an excellent job. You go from week to week and you move that around. Other than Ali, it doesn't move from there. And for me, that's the most important position on the field and in the way we want to play. And I think even at the highest level of the game, we've all probably heard of a team in Man City and Rodri going out and how important those players are to football. But the other two guys, as we interchange those players, they know their role so well. They know where to move, where to be, and I think that's what makes it very good. Today was a little bit more difficult because there weren't spaces between the lines. So you had to move in different spaces. In the first half, I think Noah did a great job getting forward and finding those gaps. And then you look at our first goal, and it's Becker moving through the gaps, getting forward, and Noah popping up from the opposite side of the field and the rotations that they're used to doing. And I think just the intelligence of our midfielders to know where to set themselves up, to know where to move if things aren't working. That's what they do very well. Yeah, first and foremost, this is a top-level player. Maybe a little bit in our league and around we missed the point, but this guy has come with experience from two massive clubs in Europe, and not having played just 1 year. He's played 6 to 7 years at the top level of the game where, you have to win. If you don't win, it's not just about, hey, the media's not going to like you. A lot of other people aren't going to like you. So he's come from a top level. He's come from a top level with pressure. And just when you watch him in training, it's, you look at him and you say, that's different. He's different. We've seen him out on the pitch today for 20 minutes. And if we go back and watch the video, I'm sure I'm going to see what I saw. What's how quickly he loses defenders, how quickly he just moves, even though he's not around the ball. And that's what we need, in this moment. We lost our best striker probably over a month ago. And we knew we had an opportunity to bring in a quality player. We looked, we searched, and this was a guy that kind of fell on our lap as we knew him very well. And I think he's going to bring, what we saw, just that vertical play ability to combine. Yeah, but most importantly, it's that vertical movement that Kwesi Poku gave us, and being able to stretch teams. And his finishing ability is great. So, it's something we'll see as we keep on going each and every week here.
That will conclude today's episode. The season really does just continue to get more and more exciting. So tune in to this Wednesday's episode of Behind the Beard and this Friday's episode of Max Access to get the inside scoop on Forge FC's pursuit of both the regular season title and the 2024 CPL Championship. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back to check in on the audio network soon.
This has been Forge Daily with Mackenzie Barwell. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share.